Much, Lee, and hello, fellow explorers. What a fantastic trip you're about to embark on in Northern Norway. We're all really excited about these trips, these 10 trips. So the aim here is to share information with you, to prepare and give you some more information and complement our travel documentation and information. That travel documentation goes out usually 60 days before you're sailing, so you will be getting that or already have it if you're on one of our earlier departures. We aim to go through the clothing equipment, what to pack, what we're going to see, activities and excursions, and also some practical information. And as Lee said, I'm joined by two legendary Vikings, our own Karen Strand and Magnus. Magnus is currently on a ship in Antarctica. Karen's got her feet on land in Norway, and I'm from the UK, but currently in the Falkland Islands. So yeah, but Karen and Magnus are the real experts here. And as part of HX, we've been around for quite a long time with different names. But we started in 1896 operating in Arctic Norway. So these voyages in our 130th year very much bring us back to our heritage and to the incredible areas around Tromsø, Lofoten, Vesterålen. All our trips, we really aim to have mindful adventure. So to give you that deep insight into where we go and also with sustainability at our core. You know about that all because you've booked with us. So we're going to get straight in and talk about these incredible voyages, these 10 trips starting and finishing in Tromsø on board our vessel MS Spitsbergen, which is a gorgeous vessel. And of course, you've booked, so you know what it's like. But behind the scenes, making all the fun to happen, you will be joined by Karen and Magnus on a number of voyages, but they're not allowed to be on the ship for the whole 10 voyages. So they'll be in and out. But we've got some great team. Maybe Karen, do you want to introduce the hotel manager and captains?
Captains, yes. So Renata has been in the company for a few years now as hotel manager. She knows the area quite well. So she is a lovely, very, very accommodating person, Renata. So looking forward to introduce her to you. Then we have the longest reigning captain in the fleet,
Yeah.
and native to the Tromsø. If you say Tromsø to him, he would say, "No, no, no, I am from Ashfjorden," and that is just outside of Tromsø. So Raimond is going to guide you safely through the fjords. Is it something he knows? It is exactly that. Marius as well, Norwegian captain of a bit of a younger generation, but very, very knowledgeable and a pleasure to be around, and knows, of course, Norway. These are both Norwegians.
Yeah.
Then we have Andrea Strand, which will be expedition leader. She's Norwegian as well. So they both are, Torstein and Andrea. Both of these are experienced in Norway. Torstein used to be on the old Hurtigruten as expedition leader there, and Andrea has been funneled in since she was more or less a little child, because she is my niece. So she unfortunately have gotten this very, very in with the bloodline. So I
And
will train her well before
yeah,
she goes.
and as part of that, we're introducing the team there. But of course, our captains rotate, so they do sort of
Yes.
roughly 6 weeks on the ship, and then the reliever comes, and the same as the expedition leaders. So depending on the trip, these are the people you
Yeah.
will see. Of course, Emma Spitsbergen, lovely little, I say little, but it's a sizable ship, incredibly comfortable, relaxed feel, beautiful cabins.
Mm.
All our trips now are all inclusive, so anything that you don't have to dip your hand in the pocket for the day-to-day essentials, including Wi-Fi, food, drinks, all the things you'd expect, as well as some of the equipment which we will share shortly. But Magnus, I'll ask you. You work on MS Spitsbergen when you're not on Nansen, which you currently are. In terms of what should people bring to make their life comfortable on board?
Yes, so I think the idea is that you should be, in a sense, be um, always ready to go out. So we have a very relaxed, we don't really have, I would say we don't even have a dress code on board. But the idea is always that the clothes you're walking around in when you're on board a ship, this is your base layer and you just should be ready at any point of time just to put on a jacket and get outside on deck. Because, we never know when we can have the lights or a wildlife or whatever might happen. So be comfortable. Bring, of course, sunglasses, your camera. Gym wear apparently says on this. There should be a gym somewhere. Never been to it, but I'm sure it's great. And of course, the most important thing is your binos as well, because there are some huge landscapes, big panoramas, and you want to take in all the details.
Yeah,
Mm. That's
fantastic.
very true.
And we'll touch on the binos later because we're very keen for you to make the most of your trip, but we feel that binoculars really help there. And then, Karen, when you're going outside, as Magnus says, but also doing all our activities, and of course these are winter voyages, so it's of
Mm.
course we've been operating for a long time in the winter in Norway, but what
Mm.
how should people prepare and what should they put in their bags?
Yeah, I would say, look at this list and dip into your wardrobe and see if you have all these items. They all come in handy. Also, because the climate is on the coastline, a little bit of like a raw cold. If you go to the inland, it is much drier, so the sense of cold is different. So it's very good to have a warm winter jacket and good layering underneath your top layers. And then, of course, scarves, buffs, and gloves are very important. So this list is actually a quite good tick off list once you sort of run through your wardrobe and see that you have the
Yeah.
things you need.
And one of the things Karen and I were just on a sailing together recently, and
Mm.
and we were joking about hats and neck gaiters. But I think when it's cold,
Mm.
having multiple hats, multiple
Yes.
neck gaiters, so you can layer up in the
Yeah.
area that you lose your most heat. So yeah, taking a number of hats is we would recommend.
Yeah.
And then of course we supply an amount of equipment and we give you a waterproof, water resistant jacket. You've probably seen them, the blue jackets, and we also give you a water bottle, which we're in partnership with Ocean Bottle. But we also loan you for the duration of the trip expedition boots, which we'll cover shortly. Head torches if needed, slip-on grips if you need them on the boots, so you don't need to bring crampons or spikes.
Yeah. No.
Also, thermal protection suits, which we will mention shortly as well. And we also have walking sticks available to help you. And of course, taking walking sticks are great. If you want to bring your own things, then please do, no problem. But we also have them on board, so we trying to reduce your packing or what you need to buy. Thermal protection suits and rubber boots. Karen, tell us a bit about what we're going to be loaning our guests.
Yeah, so the boots, I think if you've traveled with us before, this has been within our system for a long time. So we have very insulated muck boots, or boots with thick insulation, which means that you do not necessarily have to have a ton of socks inside. You can have a good solid pair of socks inside and be perfectly warm. So this goes into the kind of expedition gear we normally have on every voyage. But what is new here is the thermal protection suit. And this is a little bit of an experiment from our side, exactly because of the temperature and the raw coldness that I just mentioned. For you to be able to kind of hop out on deck or go quickly out on deck and feel that you don't have to rush back in because you're cold, is hop into
Yeah,
the suit and you're able to stay there. So this is what we are actually expanding here with the Norway program. We are not doing it anywhere else, but we are doing it here
yeah.
to make sure that you are well
And they're
protected.
kind of like
Yeah,
like a
yeah,
freezer suit.
they
As if
are. Yes,
so, yeah. So
yeah,
people that work
yeah.
in cold rooms the whole time wear this, but yeah, they're
Oh, these
fantastic.
are
Yeah,
they're well. I mean, every operator who run boat trips and so forth
Yeah.
use these suits. So they are well tested.
Yes, yeah, no, and really, really comfortable to wear as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah,
very.
yeah. So they will be available for everybody on board to borrow for the duration of the trip, and yeah, keep you nice and cozy and warm. We also, I know we always get questions, and in the pre-questions about hiking boots. Of course, we've talked about the muck boots, but we've got this. The team have helped us put together this slide. Karen, boots. What should people take if they want to take their own?
Yeah, and Magnus, just feel free to just pitch in here as well. Yes, so if you look at the picture here, we have kind of outlined the kind of boots that are practical in winter Norway, where you will be walking in a bit of snow and maybe not so little snow either. Could be that you might have to walk in more snow. And then we will kind of day by day give you advice on what is the best footwear for that day. So if you bring a good pair of hiking boots, as you can see, not sneaker wise, those you can use inside, but not to plan to have them outside. You are kind of you are prepared for any kind of eventuality. And then we have the rubber boots that kind of take the absolute safe way in. So if we need to step into water or something, you can choose to use those instead.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Brilliant.
good
And
grip, anti-slip is good.
Yeah. And thank you, Alice, for sharing the previous slide in the chat. And also, I forgot to mention at the start, but of course, as Lee did mention, we do have a team in the background. Alice, another Karen, Ollie, Saskia, Maria, and Nick are in the background answering your questions. So if you do have questions, please do put them in the chat. And the recurring themes, then we will have a question and answer session at the end where we will bring in our question master, Ollie, to field those questions. So we aim to answer as we go in the background in the chat and also at the end. But Alice will be sharing some of these information in the chat, and also it should be in your voyage documentation as well. Magnus mentioned binoculars, which of course really important, and we don't go anywhere without them as expedition team. And again, as Karen was saying, if you've got a pair of binoculars, then please use those. You can spend anything on binoculars from a few euros to thousands. But we recommend magnification between 8 and 10 through to the objective view that 32 to 42, and that's a sort of comfortable thing to hold to also see the wildlife and incredible landscapes and everything you can see. All our expeditions are based around having that real sort of in-depth understanding through our sort of rich science and education program. So Magnus is one of our historians that you will hear from him on board, but we have an expedition team made up of scientists, historians, activity guides, and of course led by the expedition leader. But part of that is we are purpose-built science center on board MS Spitsbergen, where we will be able to show you hands-on in depth, whether it be the microscopic world through our microscopes or hands-on with our bone clones of species that we will commonly see. Of course, a lecture program, also deck watches and numerous different things. That is backed up with a citizen science program and science boats. We will share, and I'll ask Alice to share these. These are a few QR codes to citizen science apps that you can download before you get to the ship. We do have Starlink on board our ships. Magnus is on board a ship. I'm actually on board a yacht in Stanley, both on Starlink, so it does work pretty well. But two specific citizen science projects. One is called Aurorasaurus, which is auroras are going to be very much, or the northern lights, going to be part of this, where you can upload pictures of your auroras into that website. But it also has a predictor where it will give you the best times and things to see the best show. But we'll be talking about northern lights, of course, in a little bit. And the other one is iNaturalist, which is a big database, but you can log your pictures of something you're not quite sure about and really look at those. But the science coordinator on board will talk about those. But yeah, our programs are very much based around science and education and giving you that understanding with incredible lecturers like Magnus and team. Okay, now we're going to get to the destination, the fun stuff where we get the experts Karen and Magnus talking. So we're heading up into the Arctic. It's a really special region. It's sort of I'm not going to go too much. Magnus, Karen, talk us. We've kind of split it up into four distinct regions. Who wants to talk about Lingen? Or both of you tell us about Lingen.
We can try
Magnus, you
not
can
to talk.
start.
Oh, very good. Thank you. So we are going to, among other things, be sailing around close to the Lyngen Alps. So this is this spectacular mountain range coming basically straight out of the sea. It's a very special atmosphere around it. It's also, at least in my opinion, as the ship's historian, some very interesting history connected to the Lyngen Alps and about the Second World War, which we might just tell you more about once you start your cruise with us. But yeah, it's stunning, large landscapes.
Mm.
That's what I would
And
say.
yeah, and what we kind of plan around Lyngen is to have our first day off the ship, to where we will find a location very much expedition-like, to set foot on land and then start our friluftsliv spirit landing sequences with bonfires on shore and a bit of food and a bit of good conversation and hopefully also a snowshoe trip or two if it's possible.
Yeah.
It is going to be pretty dark when we are there, which is also very nice. So hopefully maybe we see aurora during the time we are shoreside, could be. But we take every opportunity also on deck. I have to congratulate all of you who actually booked this trip because you will see, the best from sea in
Yeah.
the fjord systems in Northern Norway.
And the Senja area, Karen, tell us a bit about that
Yeah.
compared to how that, because they are distinct areas. Yeah.
Yeah, so you have Outer Senja, Inner Senja, which we are going to explore Inner Senja, where we have this extraordinary little island called Tranøya, which it's very much off the beaten track. Very few people go there or can even see it because you can't reach it with car or anything. You have to come there by boat. So the two sisters who run the place now on behalf of the municipality, with the old vicarage and the church and a few sheep and so forth, are going to show us Tranøya for what it's worth, and it's a very good window into Northern Norway's culture, both present and past. Magnus, if you want to add anything.
Well, we
Very
can move
good.
to Vesterålen maybe. I know we've
Yeah.
got some pictures of that incredible church and the light a bit later, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think, I mean, rightly so, Lofoten is very famous all over the world, but Vesterålen is another island group just north of the Lofoten Islands, and I think they're just as beautiful, but they have a bit of a different charm because the mountains of the Vesterålen are more gentle in a sense. It's not these ragged peaks as much. So they're gentle, beautiful landscape, and it's also a part of the sort of the ancestral home of our company, which we'll tell you more about on the cruise.
And you mentioned Lofoten already,
Mm.
but yeah, Karen, what's your take on
Yeah.
Lofoten?
So of course here you have this, and this is what I was actually aiming for. I mean, there is no better way to see Lofoten than to see it from a ship. If you had taken a flight up there now and gone by car, you would be able to see it from one side and obstructed by a lot of trees and things in the way. Now you're right in the smack in the middle of the fjord, and you are then able to see it from all angles. I think it is a glorious way of traveling in this region with this dramatic landscape where you
Yeah.
have, as you can see on the pictures, right? I mean, Magnus, the mountains there, and you can
Yeah,
see
yeah.
them from Vesterålen.
And yeah, when you sail
Really
around the
good.
Lofoten Islands, you get
Yeah.
like the reflection of the lights on the mountains, which have inspired romantic painters through centuries.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, a
And
well-known region. And you
yeah.
mentioned about the communities. Then tell us a bit about what's so special about this area and
Yeah.
its connection. Yeah.
Yeah. So Norway, it's a long country. As a Norwegian poet once said, "Great is this country, but most of it is in the north." So the northern regions of Norway is very thinly populated, and it's all about the sea, of course. People have been traveling by sea for centuries after centuries. We can go back to the Vikings, we can go back even further, and that has sort of been the lifeline going up and down by the sea. And then you have these very thinly populated small communities sort of huddled together as outposts along the sailing routes. And this has given rise to a very special culture, I would say, in Northern Norway. People are very warm, very open, and we will, of course, have different cooperations with locals. So you'll get a feeling, I think, for the Northern
Yeah.
Norwegian way of life. Don't you agree, Karin?
Absolutely, absolutely. It's there will be a cultural exchange of the deepest sort, so to speak, going there with a company who are rooted there. Mm.
Yes.
And talking of Norwegian culture, friluftsliv you mentioned before, Karen, but this way of life that you
Yeah.
it's like in your DNA. Tell us that you mentioned fires and stuff, and we've got this, but tell us a bit about that. And you've been developing these trips and working doing the recce's with different people for a couple of years, and really tried, or we're aiming in these voyages to really bring out that way of life in the trips.
Yeah. And and also Magnus, feel free to fill in here. It is a way of life where we kind of we can't stay inside 24/7 for 365 a year just because our climate is a little bit hostile. So rather adapt to the climate and what you can do. So look, sitting outside with a bonfire like that, very cozy, doesn't have to be high pace at all. It's actually
Yeah,
quite low pace. Taking a snowshoe trip, a lot of people in Norway go skiing. Where that is a bit of a skill to be learned, so we're going to do it with snowshoes. It doesn't have to be long, doesn't have to be very technical or any of that sort, but it gives you a taste and it you feel so well coming back in after being outside and have been you feel like you've achieved something, although it's not pressuring you in any way. It is just taking in the sights, taking in
exactly. Yeah.
the ambiance of it,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you
It's
can't
about
do it
being in the
that.
moment. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's not
Yeah,
about extreme sports or anything like that. It's just being
no,
together without other people,
yeah,
just strolling, walking through the snow,
yeah.
taking in the surroundings. I'm not sure if
But
the
being in a
Norwegians are the people that spend the most time in nature, but we certainly talk the most about spending time in nature.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, it's very
And,
important for us as well.
and there's a well used saying, but I think it's there's no such thing as bad weather, just bad clothing. But I think that's very much
Exactly.
Norwegian because they just like go out in all weathers. Whether you put your baby out in the snow for a few hours
Yeah,
or
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, but they sleep outside when
yeah,
they're small. That's
yeah,
part of our, yeah, absolutely. There
part of
you
the
go.
fun,
Mm.
part of the fun. And a big feature of these trips, of course, they winter spring trips. So the daylight, you can see that the rapidly changing light from these trips starting in January through to the end of March, but where the daylight is going and the light is just really incredible. So you can really see that change. But tell us a bit about the light and what you think. Maybe Magnus, tell us about what those
Yeah, this
experiences.
is this is really the most important message I have, I think. Like a lot of people have a misconception is that if the sun doesn't go above the horizon or if it's only above the horizon for a couple of hours, that it's just going to be dark and nothing is happening and you can't see anything. While in reality, you will get, because we will have the sun above the horizon for, I think, yeah, almost all of these voyages will be a little bit. And even if it's very short, you'll get this spectacular place. You go from the magical light to the polar night, we call it here. You have these sort of pink colors when you have the sun just going up and down. You get these very, very long sunsets. And here's the thing, you get the reflection of the sun in the snow. And then as we go into the blue hours, things really start to get beautiful as well. So we'll talk more about, I think, the hunt for the Northern Lights, but it's something also about just enjoying this sort of um, magical changing of light from pink to blue, and it's very vivid. And a lot of the places we're going, there's not really any light pollution, so you really get to take it in. So if you might, in Norway, we call twilight for tussmørke, which simply means troll dark, because it's in the twilight, in the blue hours, that the shapes around you, the mountains and the trees, start
Yeah.
to look like trolls.
Yes.
Plays with your mind, Magnus. You know, that's
It
what
does, it does.
it's fantastic. And we mentioned Thrynia, this is the church, Karen, the community you were talking about with the magic light. And I think,
Mm.
one of the things I love about Spitzberg, the ship Spitzbergen, it's got the outside space that Magnus was talking about, being able to go out. It's got so much outside space. It's fantastic. So being able to enjoy the light and being outside,
Yeah.
or there's fantastic viewing. All our ships are built to be outward facing, so you can enjoy it within the comfort of those. And we also have on Spitsbergen, if you have sailed on MS Spitsbergen before, we now have done a bit of a refit, and now we have Brygga, which is a sort of bistro. So after all these activities, our food and beverage team will be providing you with some beautiful hot beverages and snacks and things to keep you fueled in a true Norwegian way to make sure you're comfort. So when it does get dark, then what might happen?
Yes, we have the auroras, of course.
Yeah.
And again, it's like it can take, you never know, of course, when they will come. And it's all about, I think, enjoying the hunt or the waiting time as well. We might get back to it, but there's a lot of apps you can look at, and you can be very technical about when is it going to be a good chance or not. But we are in the best region to see the Northern Lights, and as long as there is a clear sky, there's no clouds, there will always be a chance. So my advice is always actually when we are in the true north, like we'll be the entire time here, just spend the entire night outside, look at the stars, and the worst thing that happened is that you spend the night looking at the stars. What do you say, Karin?
Yeah, I think the thermal protection suit is going to come in really handy
Yeah.
for that. But yes, absolutely, and we will of course be a little bit technical on board in order to kind of do the predictions a little bit for you, with you, and then position the ship in a way. And that's why we are making this itinerary so flexible, is that we will try to position the ship in a place where you have little light pollution, like Magnus said, and being then able to have the best opportunity to see the northern light instead of having to go into a bus at 4 a.m. in the morning and travel outside of Tromsø to have little less. But you have it right at your fingertips the whole time.
And I'll ask Alice to put this slide in the chat as well. But this is sort of tips and tricks for seeing the lights. And of
Yes.
course, as Karen mentioned, we'll be doing that. We will also, in every cabin, there's an announcement system, so you can be able to. We will announce
Yes.
anytime we see Northern Lights, so you get a chance to go and see it, even if it's in the middle of the night, because of course it's a highlight. And of course, photography does enhance the lights, but we have on board as part of our team a professional photographer. They'll be able to support you in taking pictures and mementos of those. So really have a look, but it is those are a highlight, and we hope and we'll get the ship in the right place at the right time to share this incredible experience. And I know when, being a Brit, I don't see the Northern Lights very often, but when I am under the Northern Lights, just it's kind of sort of another is unworldly. It's just like this magical feel. So it kind of really, yeah, puts hairs on the back of your neck just watching it. It's magic. Okay, as well as seeing Northern Lights, because then the wildlife, we have a board on our expedition team. We'll be pointing out and sharing wildlife sightings, but of course seals, birds, whales, all those type of things we hope to see. But again, we're not in a zoo, but there's potential to see those. So again, binoculars are certainly a help to see those, and we'll get the team will be able to share all those experiences with you on board. We also have numerous different activities. But yeah, maybe Karen, would you like to talk us through a bit about the general
Mm.
activities that we have?
Yeah, so this is the included activities
Yeah.
will be when we go ashore, of course, everything we do there will be included, and the friluftsliv component, kayaking will be included. Lectures, of course, part of our core program. Hiking as well, what we do from the expedition team side of things, because we have a well-stocked expedition team with a good knowledge about the areas and the activities. So polar plunge we will attempt to do as well. So we have, and I think the most important tool for us all is going to be these small boats that we have. We call them zodiacs, and they are going to be the workhorses that takes us places. And are able to enhance maybe even a aurora sighting. If it's particularly good and we see the chance, we might just spontaneously drop the zodiacs in the water, take you out there so that you're able to enjoy it from even a different angle. So yeah, we're going to do whatever we can within that week you are with us to make sure that every opportunity is taken and not lost.
And I know there's those. I think lots of people on this trip have sailed with us before,
Mm.
but often a concern is the zodiac, that system of
Yeah.
getting on and off the zodiacs. And I think like to reassure everyone, we have we have team. We're taking people on and off ships all the time, every day, multiple times, and getting in and out of the zodiacs. You're helped in and out to the boat. Under the direction of the boat captain will where to sit, but it's just been able to follow the directions of the captain and the crew, getting you in and out of the boat, and also at nature landings in reverse, getting out of the boat. So don't be concerned about it. We'll be there. We'll be there to help. But another amazing on water experience is kayaking, and on this voyage, all kayaking is included. So we hope to take everybody out. And as part of that, again, Karen was talking about the experience with zodiacs, but that experience on water
Oh.
is incredible, and that sort of silence of being out in the boat. So we'll be doing that, and that will be when you're on board. Please just register your interest with the
Yep.
expedition coordinator, and we will just rotate people around on a list. So we obviously can't take
Yep.
everybody at once, so we split you into groups. And
Yep.
say today we can take group A, tomorrow group B, and we'll follow that through. We
And
do have a number of, when we go to these different places, included excursions, as we call them, with the teams in terms of visits. But Magnus, you already gave a little insight into our heritage and history. Then talk us a little bit about the museum.
Yes. So in Stokmarknes, we have the so-called Hurtigruten Museum, which is the coastal ferry museum, and they have Norway's largest museum item. They've taken an entire coastal ferry ship from 1956 and put it on land, and now they built a glass house around it. So we'll have the museum for ourselves, sort of in one of the evenings, and we will combine a guided tour on the ship itself, and we'll be doing storytelling. And in particular, we'll be focusing on our first expedition cruises going in 1896 from this part of Norway up into the high Arctic to Svalbard. So it's a very special place for us. It's our, yeah, as I said, our ancestral home, I like to call it.
absolutely.
Very good. Yeah.
I like that word.
That's brilliant. So these, and again, when you're on board, the team will help book. But there's also the option for some, in when we're in Solvær, some extra excursions. So if you want to enhance your trip, there are these excursions. And again, there's more information on the web. You can pre-book if you want, and to do that, then you need to go on the web, decide what you want, and then call one of our agents, and they can pre-book it for you. Or you can book when you're on board with the expedition coordinator. If there is one of these excursions that you really, really, really want to do, then of course please book before. But we hope that we've got the capacity right to allow you to do that and book on board. But yeah, if you really, really want to do it, then please book ahead of time. And in terms of preparation, then tell us a little about. We've got some books that you could pre-read. Yeah, Magnus, maybe you're a historian. Tell us a little bit about what you're recommending our guests to read, and you can
Yeah.
test them when they get on board.
Yeah, there's some great recommendations there. So we have Roland Huntford's book about Nansen. If you are not familiar with his story, really recommend that one. It's one of those stories you can't really believe, the life of Fridtjof Nansen, and Huntford tells it in a very entertaining way. And particular favorite of mine here is The Children of Ash and Elm by Neil Price. So it's a history of the Vikings where he tries to get into the mindset of the Norse people. He tried to see sort of the Vikings as they would have seen themselves. They didn't call themselves the Vikings. They were the children of Ash and Elm, which means that they were the descendants of two pieces of driftwood that the gods had carved up into people and given life. It's a very interesting read, and he got some very fascinating theories about how climate change started the Viking Age as well, as a bit of a spoiler. And then we have Paul Brekke's book about the Northern Lights, which is as well, it's I think the best go-to book, and then of course more about the Friluftsliv as well.
Amazing. Yeah, so some good stuff to prepare. Over the Christmas holidays, you can indulge in a book and prepare a little bit more. In terms of practical information, then just to prepare you to wrap up before we go to the question and answer session. Of course, English and German but English is the working language on board, but we do things English, German. But of course, there's very much a Norwegian theme to these sailings, and we have a lot of Norwegian team on board. Currency in Norway, Norwegian krona, but in Norway, then credit card, debit card is used widely, and in fact, so much so that lots of places don't even take cash anymore. So please feel free to your credit card. We talked about the weather and the need to prepare. Then the temperatures, and we've got summer, but we're optimistic. But around minus 15 to 5 degrees Celsius. But of course, the weather can change up and down. Wi-Fi is included, and we do that through Starlink. So yeah, pretty good now. Just prepare yourself if you like going on holiday anywhere else. Please make sure you bring your medications, and when you travel with those, then please put them in your hand luggage, just in case the airlines misplace your baggage for a few hours. We do recommend, obviously we're on a ship, so seasickness, but we do provide seasickness tablets on board if you'd like those. And of course, same as going on holiday anywhere else, travel insurance is recommended. We do, of course, as well. We recognise the majority of people have booked these, but people have booked in different ways. But embarkation on the day, then we are going to have luggage drop-off available at 11 a.m. Embarkation is between 4 and 6, and we hope to get away later that evening. So aiming around 10 o'clock, but that's flexible. But we would like you all on board by 6 p.m. But please look at your travel documentation because depending on the trip, then the ship may be in different. It's not going to sail from the same place every time in Tromsø. So please make sure you look at your information. And again, disembarkation, we will arrive in Tromsø and be able to get you disembarked by 8 a.m. for your journey home. But full information will be in your travel documentation, so please pay close information to that. And of course, depending on where you are in the world, then you may need a visa, but please check. Majority of people not for Norway within Schengen, the UK, not required, but please just check that you're on your own country's Foreign Office website to just check those. Okay, Ollie, we're going to bring in Ollie. I'm going to stop sharing screen. I see there's been lots of questions, so we'll hand over to our question master. Welcome, Ollie.
Thank you very much, and thanks everyone for joining today, and thank you to our panelists and hosts. That was fantastic. Very jealous of everybody who's heading to Northern Norway. So thanks for all the questions and engagement we've had during the session. So I'm going to cover off the main themes that we've had and ask our experts here. one of the hot topics, and this is probably a question for Karen, please, is I know it's one of her lovely favorite topics. So, ski pants and waterproof
Oh,
pants, and it seems to come up a lot.
it does,
Um,
yeah.
it does. So, do you recommend insulated waterproof snow pants or more lighter weight waterproof active pants, or do you recommend ski pants at all, really? So, if you could comment on that, please.
Yeah, I would recommend the one in the middle, if I'm to say, not the completely hardcore waterproof, the one that is absolutely super expensive. Doesn't have to be. It's nice to have a bit of insulation in it, so it's not the light waterproof one, which you just kind of just put on top of, unless you are really good at layering. So if you have a good layering system underneath with a good long john and maybe a good flexible mobile pant underneath, and then put a thin outerwear waterproof on top, that could work. But if you want an all-rounder, so that you kind of have one to go to, just a normal pair of ski pants that have that water repellent in it, so that you can sit in a Zodiac without getting completely wet.
Great.
Because
Don't forget the
we will
thermal
be going
protective
out
suit.
as quickly. Yeah, we will be going out. I mean, unless our enemy is the wind. So the wind is what will kind of prevent us from going ashore. Rain, sleet, no, that we will go. So that's why it's good to have a bit of insulation and water repellent in it. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
brilliant.
don't have to.
Thank you. I love this question. So maybe Magnus, you could help us with this, please. The person has asked, I did Antarctica in 2024. Is there anything that you can think of that's different in terms of how to prepare for Norway? So obviously both polar destinations, but what are the differences and similarities maybe as well?
Yeah, equipment-wise, I think it's much the same.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you
Yeah.
agree? Yeah, Karin and Tudor. Of
Yeah.
course,
I agree.
yeah. As an experience, it's very different. I think we touched upon it,
Yeah,
obviously.
absolutely.
Yeah, but as far as the clothing and the stuff, I think, yeah. Well, I'm wearing the same stuff at least, which
Yeah.
I'm going to be doing down here. Yeah.
I think maybe what might differ here, and that's why we have kind of enhanced the kit, is crampons that we will provide you,
Yeah.
and headlamps, because you're going into the dark season, opposed to
Yeah.
when you go to Antarctica with us, it's the light season. So that is maybe the biggest
Yeah. And shoe, and of course that
deviations.
you can actually wear your own hiking shoes outside, and you're not
Yes,
stuck with them.
exactly.
Yes.
You don't need to wear the rubber boots.
And
They are optional.
I think that the light is a really good point, because part of the amazing thing and the really exciting thing
Yeah.
about these trips is the light. In Antarctica,
Yeah.
when you get the good weather, you get the heat from the sun, but we're not going to have that so much of the day. So preparing with, I think, multiple hat layers and neck layers, and so I think that we won't get that solar radiation so much. So, but yeah, same, but
Okay,
different.
makes sense. Thank you. And in terms of the local currency, the NOK, that we've recommended people bring some of, obviously we're all inclusive on board, so you won't be needing to dip into your pocket for anything on the ship, unless you are buying the optional excursion over and above. But then obviously we take credit cards and debit cards on board. But for the local visits to local communities, what would you recommend in terms of sort of how much people
There
take?
is no
No
credit
need.
card tapping. We are a
Okay.
very digital
Yeah,
society.
some people they don't want to see cash, to be
They
honest.
don't exactly.
Yeah.
Cash is almost, I don't remember, Magnus, the last time I saw 50 krona
Not
note.
since COVID.
I mean,
No.
exactly. We've kind of changed dramatically there. So yes, we are a very, very digital society, also in the small communities.
But they do accept cash in certain places if people want to bring cash. Yeah.
Shops, like in normal shops and so forth, but it could be that small artisans and stuff like that, they will not take cash. They will either you'd use a credit card tap because they all have these little devices that they can use, or in Norway we use something called Vips, which is a kind of a local the tutor is laughing, digitally transferring money, but you don't need that. You can use your credit card.
Yeah.
Okay, great, thank you. Next question is another clothing related one. A few people are interested as to whether they need to bring snow gaiters. Is that something that would be useful to bring, Karen?
I would say depending on what kind of pants, outdoor pants you wear. If you wear like these kind of bulky or a little bit wider snow and snow pants, no. If they are more sort of hugging or more sort of I would say of the tighter kind, then snow gaiters could be kind of good to have, but I don't see the big use for them on this travel. So yeah, no, I would actually say no.
Okay.
It's a little
Good
bit depending on
recommendation.
what you
Thank
have.
you. Yeah. In terms of the wildlife, we covered that we hope that we'll see whales, and that was part of the question here. So we've covered that one. How about polar bears?
Doesn't exist, my dear, in
Well,
Norway.
if you go on the streets of Tromsø, they have some stuffed ones in the shops.
Yeah, but
Love that.
polar bears do not exist in Northern Norway. You have to go to Svalbard for that. So yeah.
There we go.
But it
That
is a
answers that
common
one
question we
clearly.
do get. So yeah.
Exactly.
You could stay on board until Spitsbergen goes up to Svalbard.
Later in the season, yeah. Great. I looked for the Aurora alert, but didn't see exactly that. Is the Aurora alert real time? Is the question we have.
Very often there is a 4-hour advance. There are some forecasting that is done based on sunstorms and so forth. So you can get, and we will of course monitor all of those quite closely. So there are NOAA has, and the University of Tromsø have a geophysical observatory that for space weather that put forecasting out. So for example, tonight I see there is good chances, if it's clear sky, to see aurora in Tromsø, for example. There is, on a general note, done some forecasting for the season, and it is a good year for watching aurora in 2025, 2026 it's
high activity year.
It's a high activity year, exactly.
Fantastic.
If I could just also, it's we are so far north, we are like in the perfect spot, so even with low solar activity, like really low solar activity, if it's clear, if the sky is clear, there will almost always be a small chance.
Great. And linked to that, maybe Judy, you could help with this. There's a question around the ship itself, and does it contribute to light pollution, or do we have a blackout policy apart from navigation?
Yeah, there's not so much blackouts, but we do dim the lights in the deck lights. So up on the top deck, then we dim the lights so people can see. But there's also a safety concern for people walking around in the dark. So we get the lights to a certain low level. So not necessarily blackout, but we do. Obviously the majority of the windows have window blinds. So there is a light pollution element because we also operate the ships in areas with different times of year with high bird concentration. So birds light. So we're very sensitive to light pollution.
Great. Next one is photography related. So I'm not sure whether Magnus, you could help with this potentially, but would a travel tripod for photography be useful to bring? They don't want to bring too much stuff.
Yeah.
I think yes, Magnus, because if you want to do photography of aurora, for example, standing on deck and having a kind of fixed placing has proved beneficial.
Then it's good. Absolutely. Depends on your ambition level, really, I would say. You don't need, it's not a must, but if you want to have the long slow, then it's quite popular.
Okay. I think you addressed this during the presentation, but Karen, we do get this question quite a lot around how fit do I need to be for hiking and snowshoe walks, and if you could comment on that, please.
Yeah, I we will try, and especially now when it's our first season and we need to kind of learn to know our guests as well. In a sense, we will keep it on a relatively low entry level. However, there might be that we kind of let a few people just run off if they want to with one of our guides, and then we have another group that can kind of just stay in a different pace. So we will try to kind of make the pace fit different levels. But no, you do not have to be very fit at all to be able to join our excursions. We will kind of look at what you, our guest, want to do and how far you want to go, and then try to adjust it with our guide corps, so to speak. So yeah, I think I would leave it like that and say, don't worry, we will look after you and make sure that we're not making you have feel that you're not being able to participate.
You don't have to go to the gym every day.
No.
And I think the same with all our programs is a bit like a buffet. You choose what you want to do to make the best of your experience. We put a lot on from the science and education, the activities, the ship, but you choose because it's your comfort. So you know your comfort zones and what you'd like to get out of it. Of course, we put a lot on, but you choose to make it. So if you're uncomfortable with something, you don't have to do it.
Sometimes we also do strolls in addition to the hikes, so that could be a possibility as well.
Not having to. So
fantastic, thank you. And Karen, in terms of the sea and what should our guests expect in terms of how rough it may be or not?
Actually, this is a very good question, because this has been at the very core of our planning. Because we are going to be sailing in the sort of inner fjord systems, fjord related, so that we have protection of islands and fjords around us from the high seas. So we're basically not going to be out in the open ocean more than, actually none to speak of at all. So for wave height and so forth, I think like 2 to 3 meters max for very short period of time, and we will be able to go with the weather. So we might even change a little bit the itinerary. That's why we kept it flexible, to be able to kind of go in and hide in these lovely fjords where, I have grown up in one of them, and they're great because when there's raging outside on the coast, the fjords have this lovely kind of protection because you have a lot of land mass around you. So no, there will be very, very little, if any. Maybe when we cross just around to Lyngen, from Tromsø and up to into Lyngen Fjord, there might be an hour or so. But the ship has stabilizers, and it's a very good seaworthy ship. So you will not be crossing the Drake this time.
Yeah, it's also very predictable. We'll have
very predictable
slots, so we can tell you there's going to be 1 hour now. Go and light out. Come on, a second.
Okay, brilliant.
And then we're back in the protected areas again.
This is probably another question for you, Karen. Sorry.
And Magnus.
Kayaking, though.
Kayaking. That's
how often do we plan to kayak?
Every day.
So,
we plan to kayak every day. That is the plan. So when we've been planning this, and the person I had with me scouting was Tessa Fandri, who did the initial kayak program with us way back. And when we looked at the different places, we're like, here we can kayak, here we can kayak. Yeah, we can kayak every day.
Brilliant. Thank you.
And
Judah, what do you wear for a polar plunge? Sorry to butt in.
Yeah, I was just going to say with the kayaking's only bookable on board. So
Yes,
Yes,
it's only
good
bookable.
point. Yeah, sorry, I forgot
Yeah.
about that.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But on another topic, what do you wear for polar plunge personally?
A pair of swimming trunks.
Good.
No naked plunging. That would be too scary.
And someone did ask about kind of bringing gloves or socks for a polar plunge as well, which I hadn't heard of previously. But is that something that people do, or is it
Some people, bring like
Yeah.
neoprene booties, and some people bring like a neoprene skull cap. If you want to stay in longer, but it is a plunge. So yeah. So some people, the Norwegians, or tend to like to show off and do a little swim. But generally, it's an in and out fun thing.
And
Yeah.
it's deep.
Yeah.
It's normally deep, so you kind of it's not necessarily that you actually will walk on rocks or anything. So
Yeah. And the water temperature sort of like about 5 degrees or something like that. That's about right,
Yep.
isn't it, Karen?
4 to 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you do wear the thermal suit during kayaking, right? So that keeps
You
nice
will
and warm.
we'll be wearing dry suit for the
Yeah.
kayaking, so we will have a special suit for the kayaking. Yeah.
Yeah. Brilliant. Okay, I think that is all of our questions wrapped up. So thank you everybody for joining today. Much appreciated. The only thing we would like to ask is for your feedback, please, before you drop off. So a little survey will pop up at the end of the webinar. But thank you very much to our 3 panelists, and thank you everybody. We look forward to welcoming you on board very soon.
Yes, we do. Absolutely.
Have an amazing Christmas
Goodbye.
break, everybody, if you're taking
Yes.
one. But and we look forward to seeing you on board. Yeah.
See you
Thank
on board.
all.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Ha det bra.
Bye.
Ha det